Hey everyone, my name is Mars, like the planet, and this is Housewarmin. I am making this video as an update to my original video about my binge eating disorder. I have a binge eating disorder. It is not officially diagnosed, but I have a binge eating disorder that was caused by intermittent fasting. If you are interested in the entire story about my eating disorder, I already have it linked down below for you guys to check out. But in summary, I started to intermittent fast a few years ago, and the restrictiveness of the diet caused me to start binge eating. Now, this is a very common thing for people who intermittent fast to be diagnosed with a binge eating disorder just because it is so restrictive. But since getting off of that diet, I just really suffered with having a binge eating disorder. I was not able to control the amount of food that I was eating. I was eating even though I was full. I was unable to say no. I really struggled with anxiety around food spoiling, with throwing out food. I just wasn't able to do that. I always had to clean my plate. I always had to say yes to friends going out. I was always eating, 4, 5, and 6 pieces of cake in the break room if it was someone's birthday. I always was eating 5 and 6 donuts. I was eating an entire bag of chips, a lot of the times. I was really struggling. So today I'm just going to share with you 19 ways that I am starting to overcome my eating disorder. Now, I will say that I am about 80% good. I would not ever say that I am completely healed just because a binge eating disorder can always come back. But I would say that I'm about 80%, healed, I guess is the good word to say, from my binge eating disorder. The last time I had a full on binge was not, maybe the beginning of this year, the beginning of 2023. It's now August. So I'm really proud of myself and the success that I've had. So I'm just going to share with you, if you're struggling right now, I do want to say that you are making the right steps by watching this video, but I do want to say that I am not a medical professional. I am not advising you to do any of this. I'm just sharing the things that I tried that really actually helped me start to overcome my eating disorder. So let's get into the tips that I have. So I have my list right here, and number 1 is to be honest with yourself. Accept the fact that you have an eating disorder. Say it out loud. Look yourself in the mirror and accept the fact you are struggling. You are struggling with an eating disorder. These are the things that make me want to binge eat. These are the things that I am struggling with. Do not be ashamed. Do not be embarrassed. Do not feel like you just have to suffer and try to be in denial about you having a binge eating disorder. Number 2 is to identify your triggers. Why do you binge eat? What is the reason that causes you to start to eat copious amounts of food? What is the reason that, makes you unable to say no to certain types of food? Is it when you're sad? Is it when you're happy? Is it when you're celebrating? Is it when you just got paid and you have money? Is it when you're bored? What are the reasons why? Identifying your triggers is going to be able to help you down the road so you can avoid those triggers. Number 3 is to tell someone. Do not try to suffer in silence. For the longest time, I was so embarrassed of having an eating disorder because I am a bigger girl, because I am plus size, saying out loud, I don't know how to control my eating. I eat way too much to the point of excess. I just cannot say no to eating food was just so embarrassing and shameful to actually say out loud. But I do think the biggest step was actually telling people, actually telling my friends, actually telling my partner or my coworkers or anybody or my family or anybody that I felt comfortable with, because then they can also be aware and they can also help you. Sitting down and telling people, hey, when you invite me out to eat and I say no, please don't pressure me because I really am full and I really don't need to go out to eat. Or, hey, when I say no, please make sure that you respect that because I am dealing with an eating disorder. Like, I promise that I'm trying to get help, but please don't try to force me to eat. Please don't try to shove food in my face. That really does trigger me to start to binge eat. Number 4 and number 5 are kind of go hand in hand, but it is to not diet and don't start to skip meals. Don't start to intermittent fast. Like I said in my intro, intermittent fasting definitely directly caused my eating disorder. I understand that when you're eating a lot of food, you can start to gain weight, you can start to feel worse about yourself, and you think that going on a diet or skipping meals or intermittent fasting is going to help. It will not help. It will have a worse effect because you are restricting the amount of food that you are putting into your body, and it's going to make you feel even worse. Do not go on a diet. Do not even think about trying to lose weight when you are struggling with a binge eating disorder. Number 6 is to keep busy and keep active. For me, I always found myself binge eating when I was bored, whether I was at work or I was at home. I always found myself starting to binge eat when I was bored and I needed something to do. So whether you're being active at work, whether you're going to the gym, whether you're hanging out with friends, whether you're thinking about your hobbies and indulging in your hobbies or things like that, that can all be helpful in keeping you busy and keeping you active and less thinking about food. Number 7, like I said before, do not focus on losing weight. This is not the time when you're trying to overcome a binge eating disorder to worry about counting calories and shedding the pounds and cutting meals. This is not the time for that. That is a different you in a different part of your life. That is not the time for that. When you are focused on trying to lose weight, it's only going to make your situation worse. And it's you have to take things one step at a time. You cannot try to climb Mount Rushmore. You cannot try to climb Mount Everest all in one go. You have to take baby steps. You have to just focus on one part of your binge eating disorder at one time. You cannot just also think and add on trying to lose weight. Number 8 is to consider therapy or medication. Like I said, I am not a professional. So if you do feel like you need to seek out professional help, I strongly advise you to do so, whether it's going to therapy or seeking a dietitian or talking to someone who deals with binge eating disorders or eating disorders in general. I went to therapy for my anxiety disorder. I will link a video down below that I've already made about my anxiety disorder, but my therapist was not able to help me with my binge eating disorder because that was not something that she specialized in. So I will not say that I have been to therapy for that, but if that is something that you want to do, I will always encourage you to seek professional help for your eating disorder. Number 9 is to allow yourself grace. You are a human. You still deserve love and compassion. You are not a horrible, awful person just because you have an eating disorder and just because you binge eat. You are still deserving of love. So allow yourself grace. Love yourself, love your body, love your mind, and remember that everything will be okay. Number 10, this really helped me, was to try the small wins. Try the small things first. Like I said, when you're trying to climb Mount Everest, just start with picking out some boots. Start with picking out some pants. Start with getting a jacket. Don't think about the mountain. Don't think about going up there first. Just try the small things first. So for example, I tried cleaning out my refrigerator of all the unhealthy foods. I tried cleaning out my pantry. I developed a lot of anxiety around throwing away old food. I started to throw away old food. I also tried to leave food on my plate. I was notorious for always scraping up every little bit off of my plate. I tried to leave food on my plate. I also tried to not take home leftovers because I knew that I was full and I was not going to eat the food later. I was definitely going to binge eat and force myself to eat that food later. So anytime I'd go to a restaurant, I wouldn't take that food home. I would also try to say no. I would also try to, instead of maybe having 6 donuts, I would have just 3. Those are little tiny wins that can kind of give you the momentum to start conquering bigger and better things. Number 11 is to eat breakfast. I know that we hear this all the time. You have to eat breakfast. You have to eat breakfast. But even if you're not a big breakfast person, eating a breakfast that has a lot of protein, that has a lot of fiber, can definitely fill you up and won't make you hungry later on and make you feel like you have to binge. Right now, I am eating little sausage patties for breakfast as well as Greek yogurt with granola. That is something that maybe you can try that will help you feel full throughout the day. Also goes hand in hand with that, number 12 is to eat more fiber and more protein. Like I mentioned, this will also help you feel full. Number 13 is to meal plan and make sure you even want to try meal prepping. This will also make sure that you have healthy ingredients on hand at all times. If you have healthy ingredients in your pantry, in your refrigerator, that will make you less likely to grab a bag of chips because they're not even there. This can also make sure that you're eating 3 square meals a day. Write down exactly what you're going to eat. Even if it does include snacks, that's perfectly okay. Even if it does include dessert, that's perfectly okay. But make sure you're being intentional about what you're eating. Number 14 is the most important one. Take back your power and your control. Do not let this thing overtake you. Do not feel like you are hopeless. Do not feel like you will never get better. There are times when I would just watch video after video after video on YouTube of people losing weight, and I just felt so hopeless. Like I would never get out of this hole that I was in. You have to take back your power. You are not your eating disorder. You are not your mental health disorder. You are not this binge eating disorder. You are a wonderful person that deserves love and compassion, like I always say. So make sure to take back your power and take back control over this situation. The next thing, number 15, is to find substitutes for snacking. Yes, you're still going to binge. Yes, you might still find yourself eating more than you should. But if you have healthier alternatives at your disposal, that will make you less likely to grab chips or cupcakes or cakes or ice cream or anything that you like to binge. I also made sure that I had healthier snacks when I was at work. So I had granola bars, I had I had granola bars, I had trail mix, I had little crackers that I could eat that were low in carbs and wouldn't make me gain weight if I did happen to binge or if I wanted a snack. You really don't, like I said in the beginning, you really don't want to restrict your diet when you're dealing with a binge eating disorder. You just want to make sure that you're eating 3 square meals a day. You want to make sure that you're snacking. You want to make sure that you're having dessert, but you want to make sure that you just have healthier options at your disposal. Number 16 is to make sure that you are taking care of your body. Yes, you are going through something right now, but still remember to take your supplements, take your vitamins, take your medication, develop a good skincare regimen, make sure you're exercising, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're sleeping enough. And I know we always hear this like, oh, just drink water, you'll be fine. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you are setting yourself up for success, you are more able to conquer the thing that you want. When you're worried about, oh, I have acne because I've been eating really bad, or oh, I'm gaining a lot of weight, I haven't been going to the gym, I haven't been going outside, I haven't been touching grass or anything like that. When you're not sleeping well, when you're tired, when you're fatigued, when you're dehydrated, those things can just make you make worse judgments, and it makes you want to binge eat and make bad decisions. So you want to make sure if you're set up for success, then you can make sure that you can conquer this thing head on. Number 17 is that remember that it's okay to mess up. You are human. It's okay. I still mess up from time to time. When I get paid on Fridays, you better believe I'm going to McDonald's or I'm going to Sonic or I'm giving myself a little sweet treat. Or, sometimes when it's late at night, I want ice cream and I want cake and I want all of those things. And so I have to be realistic with myself and remember that I'm human. I'm going to mess up. Those are things that, that you still have to be reminded of and not just think just because I take a few steps back, all of my progress is not erased. It's not like you're just going to make progress in a linear line. You're going to go back, you're going to go forward, you're going to go all the way back, you're going to come all the way forward again. You have to remember that it's okay to take a few steps back. Number 18, like I just said, is to be realistic. Instead of thinking I'm going to go cold turkey, I'm never going to eat snacks ever again. That is not realistic at all. You know as well as I know that you're probably never gonna not eat chips again, or you're never gonna not eat, your favorite snacks ever again. Like I said, instead of having 7 donuts, try just having 3 donuts. Then try just having 1 donut. Instead of having an entire bag of chips, try just eating half the bag of chips, or try just eating a third of the bag of chips. Even that is progress, and you should be happy about that amount of progress. But you have to be realistic with yourself and be realistic about what you can handle. The last thing, number 19, is to make sure that you are seeking help. This goes hand in hand with telling people and letting people know that you are struggling. Make sure that you're seeking help and make sure that you are educating yourself about what a binge eating disorder is and what you can do to help yourself. Just watching this video alone is a great step into educating yourself. Also, if you feel like you do not have a good support system around you at home, going online is just as good. There are so many Facebook groups and Reddit pages and all kind of groups out there that can be helpful to you in overcoming this. So those are all of the tips that I have for you for overcoming a binge eating disorder. Once again, do not feel overwhelmed. Do not feel like you have to do all 19 of these things tomorrow. Take it step by step. Be realistic and remember that you are still deserving of love and compassion. You are not a horrible, worthless person just because you have a binge eating disorder. I promise you, I felt the exact same way, and sometimes I still feel the same way. Sometimes I beat myself up for the amount of weight that I've gained, for the amount of food that I've eaten. I just feel shamed. I feel fat and ugly sometimes. Those are things that are natural because you are a human being, and I promise you that things are going to be okay and things will get better. But you have to be honest with yourself first, and you have to understand that yes, you are suffering, but you don't deserve to suffer alone, and you will get better. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please feel free to comment your stories down below. I've gotten so much support, and I'm just so thankful for you guys really resonating with my past videos about my binge eating disorder as well as my mental health journey. We are in this together. We're gonna get through this together. But that does it for today's video. I post videos every single Wednesday. Sharing this video, commenting on this video, and liking this video, and also subscribing really helps out my small YouTube channel. So I would much appreciate it. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.